Hello and welcome to the Crazy Angels podcast. Today we want to talk about our new single, Goodbye BB King, and it's a tribute to Memphis and R&B legends like BB King. This song is also a deeper meaning than just a tribute. And I want to ask you, Pascal, can you give us an explanation why you wrote this song?
So I had a lot of difficulty as a kid, and I turned to music and poetry and philosophy, just trying to get through it with myself intact. And the R&B masters meant a lot to me when I discovered B.B. King and James Brown, Little Walter, Muddy Waters. I finally felt here's somebody that understands what I'm going through or what I feel on a day-to-day basis. When I heard Little Walter's harmonica, when he's singing My Babe or Last Night, or Blues with a Feeling, or any of those songs in that tradition, it really touched me to the core. And so this song is homage to the Mississippi Delta that created those sounds, that spicy stew that we call R&B. But it's also homage to Memphis because I was lucky enough to get to know the city, and I traveled there a lot over the years, and I love to go to Beale Street, which is the home of the blues. And that's where B.B. King's bar is. And that's where all the greats that I mentioned used to play night after night after night in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And Elvis Presley lived in Memphis famously, and he would go to Beale Street and he would jam with B.B. King. I wish I was a fly on the wall for some of those nights. Now, it's also kind of a warning or a cautionary song about extremism. And my family's from Eastern Europe, and we felt over the past 100 years, the bitterness of extremism, the terrible bite, the damage, the intolerance. And, our family lost a lot of people because of extremism. So over the past 4 or 5 years, we've seen mobs in city streets and campuses and parks, effacing, defacing, destroying. And I remember I was reading one of the mobs had a sign, or there was a spokesperson, and they said, "We want to uproot America from its very roots. We want to destroy it right to the roots and start all over again." And I remember what my grandfather used to say. He used to say, when you hear them in the village square talking about brotherhood and liberty and equality, go home at once, lock the doors and the windows, and make sure the pistols are loaded. In a more recent history, so Pol Pot in Cambodia in the 1970s had that same mentality. We're going to destroy society right to the roots. And then the Cultural Revolution in China during the 60s. And before that, um, uh, Joseph Stalin's chief of police in the Soviet Union, a guy named Beria, basically lobotomized Soviet society. They essentially went through the phone book and found any association that might be intellectual. It's the Engineers Association, it's the Opera Association, it's the Friends of Dostoevsky. And over a decade, they disappeared. So extremism is a terrible, terrible scourge. It's a cancer. And it's something I react to, historically because of my family. So this is a song that pays homage to the R&B greats and is also a cautionary tale. It struck me that these same people that want to uproot America or England or France or Italy from the roots would not hesitate to destroy the blues because the blues do not conform to the standards of thinking that the extremists have. And there's zero, quote unquote zero tolerance, which to me is a horrifying concept. It's much better to laugh and forget and break bread and make friends, as opposed to, oh, you broke some rule, we're going to punish you. Anyhow, all of that contributed to making this song. And actually, I was on the banks of the Mississippi in Memphis, Tennessee, when I started writing this song. It was a beautiful night, full of stars, and the Mississippi, and the barges and the tugboats are churning by. And again, I'll pass the baton to David. And
Yeah.
this is another
Just to,
extraordinary
yeah,
arrangement.
just to pick up on one point, you know, Pascal and I both love the author Milan Kundera and his book, The Unbearable Lightness of Being, the book of Laughter and Forgetting. He wrote some just incredible books. And as a theme, laughter and forgetting is definitely a theme of Pascal's songs and of his music. Anyway, there's a line in The Unbearable Lightness of Being, spoken by the character Sobina, where Franz, her lover, is talking about, political this, because it takes place during the Soviets taking over Czechoslovakia in 1968. So literally, unprovoked, the tanks rolled in, took over what's now the Czech Republic into Prague. And, this idea of when they get together and talk about rebuilding everything in the square, that's like, and yes, all those things. So Franz says, we must go out and we must march, and Sabina said something like, I'm paraphrasing, that the root of all evil and all wars begin with shaking fists in the air. And that is such a powerful line. And I think there's so much truth to that, because people, they say the road to hell is paved with good intention. So, you might want to go out and march for this and march for this cause and, save the snails and save the ants and save the mosquitoes. We shouldn't kill, but this is how it all begins, with good intentions and fists raised in the air. So that's sort of the image I got when Pascal was just talking about it. And so I just wanted to quickly throw that in. And
so laughter and forgetting is our motto, not a clenched fist, not a clenched face, getting ready to hit somebody. Laughter and forgetting. Let it go.
Let it go, man. Let it go, let it be, and laugh and move on. And all right, let's talk about this. So first, let's just listen to the full mix. Here we go.
Nights a veil of endless stars, Mississippi's a steel guitar, moon's a shiny chandelier above my lonely river pier. Goodbye B.B. King, so long Stevie Ray, resting in the Delta Plain. Well, if time was a river, I'd drink my fill. Let's have a picnic on Blueberry Hill. Beep bop-a-lula, my sweet divorcee. Anticipation making me crazy. Goodbye Etta James, so long James Brown. The mob is tearing Beale Street